Hello everyone, it's me Sleepy Maron here. Today my video is going to be more catered towards those interested in getting into Lolita and also those who are beginners. So if you already know this type of information, this video might not be the type of video for you. So today I'm going to be going over 3 topics. The first one is going to be how to get involved into a Lolita community. The second one is going to be places that I personally shop and suggestions of where maybe you can shop. And the third one is just general tips of advice from me. Alright, so the first one, how to get involved into a community and attend Lolita events. So when I was first getting back into Lolita, this was in around, I believe, 2023 when I first was getting back into it. I, prior to that, had never been involved into like any Lolita communities or anything related to that nature, as I got into it back in middle school. So searching these up, I was finding like different ways how to get involved, and I looked through Facebook. I feel like for me, Facebook was my best bet, and I looked up like just Lolita in my area or EGL community in my area. And I was able to find like a list of events that people were hosting, and then I proceeded to find that page's Instagram, and I was able to like find like community events that are organized. Now, not every area is going to have a Lolita community. So when things like this happen, you can either commute to like an area that has a little more like, you know, Lolita community, or you can just start your own, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10 in your area, you might not be the only Lolita there. So that's the first one. And also joining clubs, like if you go to like a college or a university or maybe even a high school, there might be already clubs forming around J fashion. So even though it's not like just concrete Lolita, it still like involves J fashion, so maybe you could possibly meet other Lolitas there. And also another disclaimer I'd like to say is that to be a Lolita, you don't always have to be like involved in the community. And also, I'm not a Lolita expert. I'm not that involved in my personal community because I like to stay inside, but whenever I would like to go outside, that's what I usually like search up. You can find swap meets, you can find Lolita conventions, stuff like that. Like that's why I highly recommend Facebook. And number 2, where I shop and where not to shop. So I would say not to shop on Amazon, okay? So a lot of the time when it's an innocent mistake and people want to correct it, I feel like that's completely fine and harmless, because most of the time people aren't aware. But when you are being made aware and you choose to like not listen to like being educated, then it becomes a problem. So a lot of people are scared to get into Lolita because they feel like if they join a community and they're wearing something that like is a replica but they didn't know it, or if they're like wearing something Amazon related, they're scared that they're going to be chastised out of that community. But most of the time that is not true. Me personally, every community that I've gone to has been nothing but supportive and nice and giving advice. The only thing is that we appreciate if you listen to our advice. So if you just genuinely didn't know and you accidentally bought an Amazon dress, you're not going to be like canceled by all of the community for buying it. But if you buy an Amazon dress after people explain like multiple resources of where you should get said dresses, and you go out your way to buy it anyways, then it becomes a problem, because then you're promoting it to other people that might also want to get into Lolita, and they might see that video and think that that's okay, and then it's just gonna like spread. And also, we want to help you out. So a lot of these Amazon dresses cost over $100, and they're very poor quality and also aren't anything like the picture at all. There's more videos on this, by the way. This whole video isn't dedicated to just the Amazon dress, but there's more videos like going in depth about why they're bad. So I just really want to put that disclaimer out there. Do not buy from Amazon, because it is not good for your wallet and good for your wardrobe. And it's also just like not that good on also like just the Lolita community in general, because they tend to steal designs from smaller brands. But yes, so I'll give you alternatives that are affordable and you can buy better Lolita from. So one of those alternatives is going to be Lace Market. Lace Market is a site that you need to be verified on, so you can follow the verification instructions. I find it very worth it, and you can buy used dresses that are actual Lolita brands for the same price that you're buying those Amazon dresses. And this will like just make you your life a lot easier. You'll get a nice, actually like nice brand dress that's like good in quality, and you get to see like the actual pictures because it's sold from other Lolitas that are selling their wardrobe or people leaving Lolita. Another thing I'd like to mention too is that Lolita is more on the sustainable side of fashion. So a lot of the time when you see like these new releases being dropped, and they're usually like in the $300 like range, it is really expensive because these dresses are made very nice quality and they take like months to design and make and create and put all the detailing into everything. So the way that us Lolitas get things affordable is by buying it secondhand usually. It's rare most of the times when I come across a Lolita that's closet is like 90% new releases. Most of the time, 90% of my closet personally is secondhand. So if secondhand isn't something that you enjoy but you like to afford Lolita, then it's kind of unrealistic. So always try to buy secondhand when it comes to Lolita, and most of the time the secondhand pieces are in great quality. So another secondhand site I also like to buy from is Wonderwell and Closet Child. These are two Japanese sites that sell secondhand Lolita, and usually the prices can vary in price depending on like the rarity of the dress and etc. But you're usually more likely to find like a better deal on Lace Market. And also you can also buy used Lolita clothes through JP Macari, J Items Direct, J Auction. I think they both used to be like Yahoo, but I think they just rebranded it as J, and Rakuten Rakuma. I'll put like the list of the names right here so that I don't know if my pronunciation is off, but those are also ways that you can get clothes for a good deal. And I buy personally through Bai. I'm not sponsored, by the way, I just have been using Bai. I've heard some people also use Neokyo. I've also used Neokyo before, that also works. The thing is, you do have to be wary about shipping prices, but in my opinion the shipping is worth it because most of the time, like even with the shipping included, at the end of the day the dress still costs like way less than it did upon release. On to my last topic for general tips of advice. So some people might have like a misconception about Lolita that like when you wear it you have to like be a different person, but that is not true at all. You can still very much be who you are like out of Lolita in Lolita, you know, like you don't have to like change your personality or your demeanor or anything like that to be a Lolita. There may be like weird advice online about like how you should act when you're wearing Lolita, but like usually most of the time like that is not like, it's usually outdated and also not like enforced in comms. Another set of advice I like to give is that do not tolerate things from other people just because they're also Lolitas. At the end of the day, everyone is like still a human being. So just because someone's like into the same type of things that you are, or into cute things like you are, doesn't mean their personality is gonna reflect that. If they're doing something that you don't agree with, it is okay to like not agree with it. Like that's another thing I'd like to say. Secondly, take everyone else's advice with a grain of salt. So when you're like listening to things online, I guess from TikTok for example, not all the time are people really getting these types of advice from like different sources. You never know, some people might also be sponsored to say these types of things. So just try to like look at multiple sources before you get like a concrete opinion on something regarding the fashion. So that's why like even after watching my video, go ahead and watch like another beginner Lolita video to like help you get like more into it, you know what I mean? And my last general tip of advice is when you're first getting into it, I recommend sticking to one style specifically first instead of buying multiple things from multiple different styles. That way you can see if you actually like that style first, and then if you don't, then you can like expand out rather than just buying things like and then you're just like, oh, like I don't really like how gothic Lolita looks on me, and then like you're just stuck with like a bunch of like gothic Lolita stuff. So just try to like stick to like one like style that you enjoy. There's like videos talking about each specific style and that'll help you get into it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Comment any questions that you might have, and thank you for watching. Bye.